Just wanted to show you the progress I have so far in sort of making a live 2D model out of the ref sheet for the Keeling I adopted, Eugene. So starting off, Eugene was made by Nui here on Fur Affinity, and their art is really amazing. So here's, I've gotten a lot and made a lot of art of them since, but originally, what came when I adopted him was this ref sheet here, which is the one I'm using part of for my model. This lineless reference. See this full body picture? This lineless version of it. And this chibi. And sort of I came up with the name and like my idea around him. But I just really love the character so much, so I was really happy to be able to adopt him, and I've enjoyed having him a lot. So yeah, so this is something I've been doing very slowly because I have no idea what I'm doing and have to take this like one tutorial at a time. But here's the model in Live 2D, and before I even got it in Live 2D, I had to take it into Photoshop, and I had to essentially cut it into everything that could be a separate piece that could like cover each other or needs to be on a different layer. And then I also had to have, if any part could move, I had to draw in what would be behind it if it did move, or at least something that wouldn't look bad. So that took quite a while. So we have to have like the showing there like under his antlers. There's like the back of the hair. I'm gonna get rid of that because that's his back and his head back. To show, I think that's hidden within, yeah. So I have the back from the back model, in case any part of that shows if he turns, but I'm not sure I'm actually gonna end up using that. And that was from the back side of the ref sheet itself. I also have the back of his head from that ref sheet. See the faces here, nose. The eyes need to separately be the eyeballs and like the parts around the eyes. And if I go into these folders, there's a lot more pieces to each of these than what I'm showing. His ears, so you can see I kind of had to draw in behind everything to patch it. Here's his mane. So we're gonna put back the front hair, the whiskers, his antlers, his face, and his mouth for the moment. Where's mouth? Jaw, that's what I called it. And I guess I'll get the front body, so you can see that's behind the mane. I can put that there for right now. If I go into his hair, that had to be broken into a ton of pieces, so I'll hide the antlers for right now. Because if you want that to be dynamic and kind of be able to like swish or move around, you're gonna need like all of these little things to be separate pieces. So I had to draw in like a shadowed part behind what was covered. As you can see, like that part there and stuff. And like that part. So that's all kind of filled in. And then also, if we go to his eyes, where's his eyes? Right there. This looks like more pieces right here because essentially I had to modify it to get a half-closed version and a fully closed version of his eyes as well. So I partly like edited it from what was there, but also kind of did a little bit of drawing. The layers might get messed up if I try. I think this should be okay, so what am I still showing? Okay, so if I did his eyes closed, which would be the easiest. One of them isn't showing up right now because of layer weirdness. It works when I'm animating it. You'll see in a second. But this gives the idea of what his closed eye looks like. So I'm gonna do the half closed. I'm just gonna show it on the right. I know I had a half open. I think I didn't need the half open for the iris. I think I only needed it for the outer part because I did that I ended up doing that a different way. But yeah, you'll see how this works in a moment. Also, for his mouth, I needed to do a little bit. So this was the initial position, and I had to draw like a midway open and a more open variant of the mouth. So I got those, and those I mostly drew myself, which was small enough that I was able to manage. I am not a fantastic artist, but yeah. And yeah, so let's close this, and I have one open that's already in the state I want it to be. So this, I've hidden anything I haven't sort of edited yet. But essentially, like, you take the different parts one at a time, and let's say we go to his antlers. So essentially you make the type of deformers you need. So like a warp deformer is this grid, and that's for kind of like large warps and like large movement and well, not rotation, but large movement, scaling, and stuff like that. And then you could also do a rotation deformer if rotations are needed, or if very detailed things are needed, you can generate a sort of grid like this for the part and then actually pull on these vertices. And there's also some cool tools, like you can make a path. Right, these are locked. You can make, it's not letting me do it still. I think it's because that's locked. That's why. Okay. So I can make like a path like this if I wanted to. And I'm gonna undo this, and then I think I have to hit spin a little bit. There we go. I have to hold control, and then I can move stuff along the path. So that's kind of a cool tool. Didn't want to do any of that. I was just showing. And essentially you pick parameters you want, so some of the basic ones that are already kind of set up there is X angle and Y angle movement, and you kind of just one part at a time. Like you tell it to do 2 keyframes or 3 keyframes, and you'd say, okay, if he's looking up, which would be this keyframe, how would this move? If he's looking down, how would this move? If he's looking right, how would this move? If he's looking left, how would this move? And that's kind of what you fill in here, essentially one part at a time, which I'll show in a second. This is eye open and close, which I should have in there, I'm hoping. I only have it on one eye so far, and I'm afraid to do it for the other one. Someone showed some tricks for trying to copy it over to the other eye, but that was really hard and wasn't working, and I'm just gonna have to bite the bullet and do it again, you know, on the other eye. This is eyeball movement, and again, you only keyframe the parts that actually need to move for that. So this is X and Y eyeball movement, and you also only really need to do, or if you're lucky, you only need to do the 4 keyframes, the up, down, left, and right, and then you can kind of right click and say to generate the in-between ones, and once it does that, you can go and look at them and then modify it from there, because they probably won't be quite right, or they might end up looking off. So if you're lucky, you won't have to do anything, but you probably will have to edit it some. But it's still better than completely doing it on your own in most cases. And I had brows for a bit, but it kind of messed up, so I'm gonna have to redo eyebrow movements. I don't have that set up at this second. I don't believe I have mouth yet, but yeah, and there's one already set up for breathing, which is pretty cool. And hair I'm gonna need to figure out. I'm not gonna be able to just use the sliders, because most of the time when you have them look side to side, you kind of want the hair to like bounce and react and not just be like a static movement. Like if he turns to the left, you have the hair kind of bounce forward and then back a little bit, like the over motion you see in a lot of animation. And there's ways to do that, I just don't fully know how that works yet. But let's show you what I have so far. So going to use these to scroll to start. So we're gonna look up and down. And everything showing is parts I've already set up, essentially. And we're gonna look left and right. And then once that's set up, I can kind of go anywhere in between. And ultimately this should be able to hook up with face rig to kind of follow your face. But for right now, it's just setting up the animation rig. Angle Z doesn't do anything for this. I think that will be Nick turning, I believe, if I get it in. Here's his blink, which is why you kind of need those sort of in-between frames or other frames for certain parts. Followed some really nice videos on how to do this, so I didn't fully have to use all the parts made, but it's a mix of deformation and switching things. And then I have eyeball movement. And I think that's it. Like, I think that's all I still have in here, but I'm working on it. So yeah, I can kind of set up poses. I can have him looking kind of annoyed and confused like that, or like looking back this way. Or over here, just different things. I don't know. Ignoring you or something. But yeah. Also, if you want to see get a better idea of some of the things deforming, we can look at his ears, maybe. Let's see. Okay. There's his whiskers. I'm looking for his ears. Here we go. So this right ear has a rotator on the outside, a deformer, and then the basic thing. So I think I have points on 2 of them. And I'm actually limited how many points I can have in like different places on a hierarchy, because this is the free version. So I sort of have to be careful how I use my resources. I may end up hitting a point where I need to switch over, but we'll see. But first, let's show. So the ear rotator, I thought I had some key points on, but I guess not. So we'll show the deformer. I think the deformer doesn't change all that much. It does a little bit, because it like keeps it, notice how that slides over? It keeps it on the head. But the biggest change is with the polys for the ear, because like I'm completely changing the shape. And this one, I remember this one I definitely had to do all the keyframes. Like the estimation didn't do a very good job. So let's go and take a look at, I think the antlers, not antlers, blah, the whiskers. The antlers are pretty static. Oh no, they do not, never mind, they do change a lot. I am misremembering. So I have like a large deformer that's mostly just keeping them lined up on the head in a way that at least makes some amount of sense. And then they, here, let me use that so you can see just one direction. I had to kind of try to make it look like they were twisting, sort of. And then that's like somewhat on the other side. So here for the whiskers, then we have the warp deformer, keeping it on the face, and then the polygons, and I kind of have it like unfurl a little bit as it's moving, or curl up more if he's looking up, or such. Also the body itself kind of twists a little bit while he's looking, and it's hopefully fairly subtle. And the mane, I twist a lot more, possibly more than necessary. I don't know if it looks kind of odd or if it's overdone, but there we go. And that's most of what I have. That's what I have. I hope this was interesting, and I can maybe keep updated on progress as long as I keep at it, which I hope I will. See you. Thank you for watching. Bye.